Good day everyone, so we are the group 4 and today we will be discussing the chapter 10 which is creating a positive school culture. So I am Dinosaur Tegas and I am together with my co-reporter Miss Giselle Ann Labrador and Miss Mylene Verano. So learning objectives. At the end of this chapter, the student should be able to explain the meaning of school culture, discuss how school culture affects learning, and lastly, cite ways by which you can contribute to the building of positive culture. Introduction. School culture matters. This influences to a great extent of how the students perform. School culture is a creation of all the people in school and in the community, especially that of the school heads. So it can be a positive or negative. It can facilitate or adversely affect learning. So a school community must therefore strive to create a positive culture. Okay, so school culture, it matters because it plays a crucial role in a school success because it reflects all the educational experiences for the student, teacher, staff, and everyone that is involved in the school. The school culture, it is either a positive or a negative. So if it is a positive culture, then it can facilitate the learning. But if it is a negative culture, it can adversely affect the learning. So that's why the community must strive in order to have a positive school culture. What is school culture? So according to Seichen 1985, school culture is one of the most complex and important concepts in education. So it refers to the beliefs, perceptions, relationships, attitudes, written and unwritten rules that shape and influence every aspect of how a school functions. So, so school culture is important in education because it shapes and influence of how the school function because of their shared beliefs, values, attitude, perceptions, and traditions. Second, it encompasses more concrete issues such as the physical and emotional safety of the students, the order lines of classroom and public spaces, or degree to which a school embraces racial, ethnic, linguistic, and cultural diversity. So when we say it encompasses is it means it covers. So it covers also the physical and emotional safety of the student. So in terms of the physical and safety of the student, for example, if the student experience bullying in school, so the student will reach out to the school head or to the teacher, and then the school head will address that issues and implement a disciplinary measure to ensure safety and inclusive environment for all. So the school must have an inclusive environment whereas it promotes understanding of the cultural diversity. So for example, in a class discussion about culture, so the teacher must let the student express their own practices, beliefs, and traditions, and then encourage other students to listen attentively and showing respect to that student. So next, it is reinforced by norms, expectations, and traditions, including everything from dress codes to discipline system to celebration of achievement. When we say reinforce is that gisuportaan og gistreten pamaayos sa norms ang school culture. So when we say norms, it is the one that guides the behavior or mauna siya ang rules or mauna siya ang standard nga behavior. So for example, in the proper dress code, so in CPSU, the OSA will oblige everyone to follow the proper dress code. So by following the dress code, the people can tell if unsay characteristics sa usa ka school. So if ang CPSU ba is a well-disciplined school or if it has a unity. It might be described as the character of a school that gives a school qualities beyond its structures, resources, and practices. So they are built through the everyday business of school life. It is the way business is handled that both forms reflect the culture. So culture is a social contract. So why? Culture is a social contract, not a genetic contract. The school culture is something that we do not inherit or pass on through the genes. It is something that we create and shape. It is shaped by everything that all people in school see, hear, feel, and interact with. So it is a creation of the school head, teachers, parents, non-teaching staff, student, and community. Okay, so the reason why the culture is a social contract, it is because we are the one that shape that culture. We do not inherit that in our genes. But we contract that culture by our interaction or by what we see, hear, or feel in the community. From the word social contract. So social, society, contract, creation. So creation of the society. The culture is the creation of the society. And we are the one that contract that kind of culture. So within a couple of minutes of walking into a classroom or school, you can tell, define, almost taste the culture that permeates the space. Is it an open sharing environment, or is it a rigid, disciplined playing field? Is it safe, welcoming, or intimidating and confronting? Does it welcome all voices, or does it make you want to shrink? Is it waiting for instruction and leadership, or is it self-directed with a common purpose? So these are the things that comes up to your mind when you are going to a school. For example, in our first day in CPSU, we have lot of thoughts in our mind if the CPSU is it a welcoming school, or is it embracing diversity or inclusivity. So even though that you are just pila lang ka hours sa school, is you can already tell kung unsa ang characteristic, kung unsa ang culture sa kana nga school by just interacting with the people and just based kung unsa imo nakita or unsa imuhang na feel. And then we can already tell kung unsa na ang culture sa kana nga school. How school climate and school culture differ from each other. School climate and school culture. How does school climate differ from culture? So these terms are frequently used interchangeably, but school climate is more relational. School climate, it is illustrated by the attitudes and behavior of the school staff and is focused on the style of the schools. So school climate and school culture. How does school climate differ from culture? So these terms are frequently used interchangeably, but school climate is more relational. School climate, it is illustrated by the attitudes and behavior of the school staff and is focused on the style of the school's organizational system. It refers to the school's effects on students, including teaching practices, diversity, and the relationship among administrators, teachers, parents, and students. It is driven by and reflected in daily interactions of the staff, administration, faculty, students, and the outside community. So when we say school climate, it is the overall atmosphere or environment of the school. So it is focused on what is the behavior of the student, the teachers, and the staff towards each other, and also what is the system of the school, and also it is focuses on the policies, practices, or the teaching style, if it is either effective one or not. Also the procedures that shape the school and how it affects the learning. These terms describe how the students and staff feel about being in a school, because it is focuses more on immediate experiences and perceptions of individual within the school. So when we say perception, it is about how we understand the situation or how we understand things. So I have an example. Supportive staff and student relationship. School have a positive climate, then the teacher and staff have built a strong relationship with the students. So the teacher will provide a support and guidance to the students' needs, both in academically and emotionally. So the student will be more open and comfortable in seeking help and support to the teachers and to the staff. School culture, it is a deeper level of reflection of shared Values, beliefs, and traditions between staff members. So it refers to the way teachers and other staff members work together and the set of values, beliefs, and assumptions they share. It is broader term and so is inclusive of school climate. So when we say school culture, it is a more broader and more complex. So the role of school culture in learning. School culture matters. It can be positive or negative or toxic. So a positive school culture fosters improvement, collaborative decision making, professional development, and staff and student learning. So a negative culture fosters the opposite. School culture have a crucial role in a school's success. So if a school have a positive culture, then it lets everyone to be included. So for example, in a collaborative decision making. So in CPSU, we have a meeting for the intramurals, for the upcoming intramurals. So during the meeting, it is not just about the teacher lang ang included sa meeting or sila lang ang nag-decide. But there are also representative of each section, which is the president and secretary, and they will become the representative of their classmate, and they will be the voice of the students who will share their ideas and will cooperate in decision making, which everyone will feel that they are accepted and included in the community.
Good day, everyone. So this is the continuation of Ms. Jonicel Ortega's discussion, which is creating a positive school culture. But before that, let me introduce myself first. I am Jessel Ann Labrador, and let us discuss about the 12 norms of school culture where people and programs improve, or the elements of a positive school culture. So we have 12 norms of a positive school culture. First, we have the collegiality. Second, experimentation. Third, high expectation. Fourth, trust and confidence. Fifth, tangible support. Sixth, reaching out to the knowledge base. Seventh, appreciation recognition. Eighth, caring, celebration, humor. Ninth, involvement in decision making. 10th, protection of what is important. 11, tradition. 12, honest, open communication. So let us discuss first the collegiality. So the school atmosphere is friendly. Yes, because in school there is diversity, equality, and fairness. So you work in an atmosphere where responsibility and authority are shared by everyone. Every individual has its responsibility and authority. So every teacher has a responsibility for their students, and a student has its responsibility for being a learner. For example, teachers talking with a teacher about the student on how to improve students' learning. Another is teachers working together to develop students' curriculum for the sake of all the students. The teacher is helping each other. And for the last example, teachers observe one another teach. So, you can be yourself. Yes, I can be who I am. But you have not to put your best forward to impress others. So that is collegiality. And let's proceed to the second one, which is the experimentation. The atmosphere encourages experimentation and so will welcome mistakes as part of learning process. So when we say experimentation, experimentation supports critical thinking, and by doing experiments, it requires students to make hypotheses, collect and analyze data, and draw conclusions based on the evidence. So for example, in doing an experimental research, we don't know if our experiment is successful, but mistakes are not intended. Instead of, they gave a lot of lesson. Referring to his 10,000 failed attempts, Then he was experimenting in the light bulb. Edison said, I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work. So another example is in changing students' curriculum. So the teachers didn't know about the result, but by letting things to happen, if the curriculum is developing students or what, then the result is not intended, but they have a choice to develop the student's curriculum. And the third is high expectations. It has been said one's level of achievement is always lower than one's level of aspiration. Set high expectation for high achievement. For example, setting high academic standards for students. So as a teacher, you are expecting your students to actively engage in their learning, complete assignments on time, and strive for excellence in their academic performance. By setting high expectations, schools can create a culture that values education and promotes a strong work ethic among students. This can lead to increased student achievement, a positive learning environment, and a sense of pride and accomplishment among students and staff. Two problems arise here. Robert J. Marzano warns us. First, expectations are subtle and difficult to change because teachers may be unaware that they have low expectations for some students, but even when they become aware, they have difficulty changing their expectations because their beliefs and biases have developed over the years. Second one is what actually communicates expectations to students is teachers' behavior. If teachers consciously work to change their biases but don't change their behavior, those two words to students from whom they have tended to expect less, their change of attitude will have little effect on student achievement. And the fourth one is trust and confidence. Students, teachers, school heads, and parents relate well and work well when relationships are solidly built. Involving students, teachers, and parents in decision-making process. Schools can create committees or advisory groups where representatives from each stakeholder group have a voice in shaping school policies and practices. This collaborative approach shows that the school values and respects has the perspective and input of all stakeholders, building trust and confidence in the decision-making process. In fact, honest and open communication is possible when there is trust and confidence in each other in the school community. For me, I can share my inner thoughts only when I am confident that I do not get ostracized when I do. And the fifth one is tangible support. Everyone in the school community gets concrete support for the good that they do. Support comes not just in words but in action. For example, tangible support is investing in technology and educational resources. Schools can provide teachers with the necessary tools such as examples, laptops, interactive whiteboards, or educational software to enhance their instructional delivery and engage students with effectively. Access to quality resources enables teachers to create dynamic and interactive lessons that cater to diverse learning needs, contributing to a positive learning environment. Number 6. Reaching out to the knowledge base. Teachers care to grow professionally to update themselves on content, knowledge, and pedagogy. The first domain in the Philippine professional standard for teachers. For example, providing a well-stocked library with a wide range of books, reference materials, and digital resources. Schools can encourage a love for reading and lifelong learning among students. The library can serve as a hub for accessing knowledge and information, fostering intellectual curiosity and academic growth. And the library can also offer access to online database, ebooks, and educational websites. This allows students to explore various subjects, conduct research, and expand their knowledge beyond the classroom. Number 7, appreciation and recognition. Certainly, words of appreciation and recognition makes classroom highly favorable. A reminder to a teachers that you are not made less when you praise others. For example, if your student answers your questions, then you can praise them with very good. Good job. Thank you. Give his or her a 5 claps or a round of applause. So like that. And another example of appreciation and recognition in creating a positive school culture is implementing a formal recognition program to acknowledge and celebrate the achievements and contributions of students and staff. For example, in students, schools can establish an awards program that recognizes academic excellence, leadership, community service, creativity, or other areas of achievement. This can include certificates, trophies, or special ceremonies to honor students who have demonstrated outstanding performance or made a positive impact in various aspects of school life. And also, schools can implement a recognition program for teachers and staff members. This can involve acknowledging their efforts through staff appreciation events, certificates of recognition, or public announcements. Number 8, caring, celebration, humor. Kids don't care what you know until they know that you care. They don't listen to a teacher when a teacher doesn't care. It may be good to remind teachers that many of students, especially those who struggle, don't receive nearly enough positive feedback in the classroom or in their personal lives. For example, a yearly talent show or variety show event. That talent show provides an opportunity for students, learners, and staff to showcase their unique talents and abilities in a fun and supportive environment. This event demonstrates care and appreciation for the diverse talents and interests within the school community, because in this way they may feel valued, supported, and connected. These events promote a sense of community, encourages self expression, and brings joy and laughter to the school environment. Number 9, involvement in decision making. Involving others who are concerned with decisions to be made enhances sense of ownership. They also feel important. Example of involving decision making and creating a positive school culture is establishing a student council or student government. The student council provides a platform for students to actively participate in a decision making process of the school. So example for this is the SSG officers and the FLP officers, where students can elect representatives who serve as a voice of their peers and work collaboratively with school administrators, teachers, and staff to address students' concern, propose initiatives, and contribute to the overall improvement of the school. The student council can organize forums or surveys to gather feedback and suggestions from the student's body, or to ask the every student or the classmates of the representative.
Good morning, everybody. I am Myron Verano, your teacher for today. So now, let's continue the discussion all about the elements of a positive school culture. Number 10. Protection of what is importance. It says here, what school consider important must form part of the tradition, and so must be protected by all means. It means that every school have these different traditions. It means also that school consider the protection of the students, the staff, and even the teachers. For example, in the canteen policies or the school canteen policies, they have these no soft drinks, no chocolate. It means the school consider the nutrition and health of the students, the teachers, and even the staff. And also, cleanliness is important. Yes, to have a clean environment, clean school, we have the good learning. And also, school protect the health of each children's and even the staff, teachers, and all. So number 11 is traditions. A school must have an intentional culture-based program on sharing values, beliefs, and behaviors. So when we say intentional culture, it is continuously aligned and regulates an organization values, beliefs, and behaviors. In cultural base, it is an approach in which teaching and learning happen on the values, norms, beliefs, and practices. So this is the traditions or the traditions in a positive school culture. So it strengthens here the sense of community. School culture is not characterized or hindi natin nililirawan ang positive school culture with the absence of gangs, violence, or discipline problems. But also, the positive school culture gives the presence of a set of norms and values that the school focus the community's attentions on what is important and motivate them to work hard toward a common purpose. So that is tradition. So wala taga the school did not provide or describe na ang school magdalain to gangs or violence. So ipadala dito focus nila ang students or the community center. Another example for traditions is conducting a freshman's orientations and also wearing a uniform. That is one of the example of the traditions to have a positive cultures in school. So lastly, the Homestead Open Communications. So we are open to communicate, free to talk. It says here that no one gets ostracized for speaking up his mind. Ostracize also exclude the opinion, the another's idea. So it's not. So that is ostracized. So it is here also that the atmosphere is such that everyone is encouraged to speak his mind without fear of being ostracized. So here, everyone is encouraged to speak what is in his mind, right? So you are free to talk, you give an opinion. So the agreement of every discussion is agree or disagree. That's it. There is no dili ka pwede mahatag na, dili na siya mao, right? So, dapat opinionated, you're open to accept every ideas and opinions of everybody. So, example is, when you are asking or the teacher asks about what is your opinion, asking to a student what is your opinion about this. So if as a teacher you know what is the correct answer, or of course you have already the knowledge as a teacher. So if you ask the opinionated or ideas for your students, you might accept that. And also, if it is kanang dili siya tugma kayo, you have the right also na kanang mo give another ideas na masabtan sa usa ka bata. Also kanang dali na siya masabtan. That is one of the positive school cultures. Sharing the ideas, not disagree ka na nga opinion or ideas nga gihatag niya. But before that, let us know first, what is norm? Norm is a rule or standard of behavior shared by members of the social group. So that is a norm or a pamantayan for the teacher. So now let's proceed to the teachers. First, teach different ways. So not all students learn in the same way or at the same pace. Teachers use different strategies to accommodate different learning styles or abilities and intelligences. This helps ensure that all students have equal opportunities to comprehend and engage with the material. Second, call the students by their name. Use of the student's name has been shown to build a classroom community. It increases students' engagement by helping them feel more comfortable and makes students feel more accountable to the instructor. To ensure also the students are comfortable seeking help for the teacher, right? So third is care about students' feelings. The more adults can be aware of the manage their own emotional responses to inappropriate behavior, the more likely they are to be able to maintain a calm classroom. So first, stand their situation. It means we should understand their situations, the situation of the students. As a teacher, we need to listen and give advices if needed, right? So allow students to share their own ideas about what happens so that they can begin to understand the events. Listen carefully to the students' thoughts and fears without being judgmental. Do not ask students to tell their own individual stories in front of the class, but personally, so that they can have a exchange of communication. So, fourth, have a good attitude. The teacher has a duty to create pleasant learning atmosphere, but the teacher also needs to prove his social emotional behavior to the students. Learning activities become effective if the teacher also shows a good social attitude, so that it will be imitated by the students. So this is very important to have a positive culture. So this is important to have a positive school culture. We must understand the feelings of our students. Next is number 4. Have a good attitude. So the teacher has a duty to create a pleasant learning atmosphere, but the teacher also needs to improve his social emotional behavior to the students. So learning activities become effective if the teacher also shows a good social attitude, so that it will imitated by the students. First, stay calm. Don't be aggressive teacher and be gentle to the students. And as of now, there are teachers who get angry because of the students. It's because of their behavior. And while doing that, they forgot to close their live stream. So that is not a good teacher for the students. So they very important not to use any platforms, right? Just like as we've seen last time, there is a teacher during live stream in TikTok. He was viral siya tungod sa iyang gipambuhat sa students. Next is letter B. Use kind of words. use kind of words since, as a teacher, we must be gentle, also in speaking, in teaching, and even they need help from us. So we need to talk normally for our students. And letter C is have patience. Students learn better in a calm and positive environment. If a teacher is impatient or agitated, it can create a stressful atmosphere that makes it difficult for students to focus and learn effectively. Patience is necessary when working with students who have different learning styles and abilities. So letter D, great greet students and say goodbye. So generally, this will mean that the lesson appears to unfold more quickly and help students to feel like they are moving along. Factors that can make the pace feel slow include too much teacher talk and or long explanation or instructions list. So letter B, explain clearly. As a teacher, we need to explain the lesson since we are the source of learning for the students. We are going to explain and give more informations about the discussions or lessons. So letter C, support different learning style. Offer charts or graphs that illustrate the concepts that you are going over. Books are also great visual tools because students can see the pictures that correspond with the words. Encourage visual learners to draw a visual representation what they are learning. So best example is the PowerPoint. We have the social media. We have different there. Letter D is expect the best. What do you mean expect the best? So it means when you are teaching, you are expecting the students to give you feedback. Expect the best means you are expecting for your students that they were able to understand your discussion. So X is re-explain if necessary. So as a teacher, we need to re-explain if there are students who never understand something or understand to your lesson. So this is very important that we need to give another explanation to come up with a good or simply or brief explanation for them to understand. So number 6 is attend school majority of the time. As a teacher, we need to attend every day for our school. Since we are the teacher, we need to use our knowledge for our students to share the discussion. 6 is be respectful. As a teacher, we need to respect each other, especially to our students. A, give everyone what they need. So kung unsa ang mga kinahanglan sa bata, dapat atuan tagaan og higayon nga ma-explainan, mahatagan og unsa may kailangan nila, right? Dili man financially but in knowledge. B is use proper language. As a teacher, we need to be gentle in teaching, in approaching students so next letter C is allow space if needed. So as a teacher, nagitay mga time or natay boundaries sa mga bata. Kailangan na itong boundaries since teacher ta sa professional and this is the estudyante nga nato na atong gitadluan. So dapat natay boundaries. So next is letter D, use supportive words and explaining. So this is very important when explaining. We need to have a supportive sources para maklaim makani siya kay true. So next is call by your name. So this is very nice when someone calling us our name as a professional. This is a very nindot kay paminawon when someone call us, diba? So number 8 is have a growth mindset. So as a teacher, we need to grow our mindset, our knowledge, since kita may muhatag ng mga information para knowledge ato ang estudyante. So dapat din nato nga knowledgeable dito nga ka-eskwela. So now let's proceed to the student's norm. First, have a growth mindset. Having a growth mindset means believing that a person's abilities aren't innate but can be improved through effort, learning, and persistence. A growth mindset is all about the attitude with which a person faces challenges, how they process failures, and how they adapt and evolve the results. First, believe you can improve. Example of this is set a goal. Goals, both short and long term, are a great way to measure your success. If you don't have goals in the sight, you have nothing to achieve or strive for in your process. If you set concrete goals yourself, it's easier to become motivated and measure your success in those goals. So, tama, Jude. Letter B, as a student, if we fail, we need to forward. Before you can overcome failure, you must find the causes. Part of failing forward and bouncing back is learning from your mistakes to avoid repeating them in the future. Fail forward is an attempt to put a good face on failure, suggesting that in failing, you learn the lesson. That can be useful when applied to your later efforts. You are invited to see failure as a stepping stone to the future for our success. So letter C is keep trying. Success doesn't come until you practice persistence. For many, quitting becomes an option even after just one failure. This should not be the case. Think of it this way. Numerous scientists and inventors failed hundreds of times before coming up with the perfect product. Don't let one failure discourage you. That is true. So next is speak positively about your abilities to learn. So as a student, daghan magitag abilities to learn man gyud no. So dapat i-encourage atong self na iingon ginato sa atong teacher o ganang participate kita in every activities. So next, number 2 is call classmate by their name. So ato po ng mga behavior na to na kanang dapat tawagon na to tong classmates sa ilang ngalan to respect them, di ba? Aside from pag friends mo, so dapat tawagon na to sila tarong. So number 3, be responsible for your work. As a student, di mo mawala ang kanang kapoy-kapoy, pero dapat responsible ta sa to ang mga work activities. So letter A, have materials ready. So kung estudyante ka, dapat daghang gid kag mga gamit. Since estudyante, daghang gid mga activities, assignment na pambuhaton. Letter B is advocate for yourself. Advocate means or you need to advocacy or iano nimo imong kaugalingon ba, means we need to promote ourselves na kaya nato ni. So di ba? Next is be a professional. So as a future teacher, I need to be a professional in the future. As a student, dapat professional po ta, diba? Next, letter D, meet deadlines. If ka nang tagaan ng activities, assignment, dapat as a student, kailangan ginato siya o kanang i-meet na to ang deadlines na gihatag sa maestra tungod na responsibility na nato. Next is participate. We need to participate in every activities, in every culmination they have. So, dira na ito mainganyo at wang kaugalingon. Next is be on time sa class. So, dili pwede nga maunhan ta sa teacher. So, dapat on time kita na mo atog eskwelahan bisag unsa pa ng oras. 4 is listen. We need to listen every instruction, every nila unsay, especially sa tong teacher during discussion or during our discussion in the topic. So A, to the teacher, o diba? Kailangan din nato maminaw sa tuang teacher. Bisag ano pa na siya kanang stricta or dili man na dapat responsibility na to nang maminaw sa ila. Next is to your classmates. Naputay mga kanang kailangan nato maminaw sa tong classmates, especially sa tong mga officers. Diba? Sa tong room, lagi tayong mga officers. So, classmate man nato sila, pero officers man sa sunat, kailangan nato sila paminawon. So, for our classmates, so mga daghang maging opinionated itong classmate, kailangan mag bright, na mo participate gid. So, dapat kailangan din nato na kanang paminawon ilang mga opinions and ideas. Respect good. So, letter C is to our guests, especially kailangan minaw kita kung especially sa mga seminar, lagi tayong mga special guests, diba? Muhatag seminar nato, mga advices. So next is to all the directions, especially sa mga exams nato.
directions kailangan basahon nato ug usay mga directions sa test, di ba? Nagihatag ang mga teachers nato. Then number 5 is attend school the majority. Of course, as a student, kailangan din nato ng mo attend og school sa classroom. Responsibility din nato nga estudyante mo attend sa eskwelahan para maminaw sa teacher. Kay kung di ka mo attend, di ka maminaw sa teacher, usa na lang mo kagawasan nato, di ba? Kung eskwela tagtarong gani kay para natay future, ma-success ta sa tong future. And that's thank you.